King Cobra.
So I heard a little bit about your story. So where does the entrepreneurial spirit come from? Did it evolve into this, or was there a deep seated thing? You saw uncles had their own business, aunties. Did you see this where you came from, or it's kind of evolved into that thing?
Well, now that I think about it, I had a cousin that went to Tennessee State, and he used to have all the cool t-shirts. He was selling t-shirts back in the day that said "No need to guess, I go to TSU."
Wow.
He had
He said, "Wow."
He had like the Hill figure designs that had, and Coca-Cola designs with TSU, and then he did Fisk and Meharry. So I used to see that, but I never thought about it as entrepreneurship. And then I guess like my great-grandfather was a physician, and he had a private practice. But again, I never saw or thought that as entrepreneurship. For me, it was kind of like I never wanted to work for anybody. I really just wanted to read, write, research, and travel.
He's a bad employee.
Yeah, I am. And I wanted to be a wife and a mom. And so, yeah, I never really wanted to work for anybody. I, at one point, wanted to be a college professor. Okay. But once I kind of learned that they don't really make any money, I'm straight on that too, because that's a lot of work. And so Jamal he afforded me the life that I wanted at the time. So the issue that he had though was that I used to call myself a professional volunteer until I realized that was philanthropy. And so I would volunteer my services. I became a mother baby specialist. So I was like a doula, a breastfeeding educator, a parenting educator. So I was doing all this mother baby work. And then 2008 hit and Jamal was like, yeah, I need some help, and so I, went to work. And so the thing was for me that, everything that I did was basically around family. Because family is really important to me. And Jamal would be like, Jamilla, you could be charging people for your services. Like, and my friends would say that all the time. They'd be like, Jamilla, the things that you just share with people pay for that. And I was like, well, I don't know how to, charge them for it. And then, and then I would try to, figure out how to, brand myself, and all of that stuff was just really uncomfortable because I felt like when I was growing up, it was bragging. Like you didn't want to be a bragger, but the way it is now, it's not. It's marketing and branding and all this other kind of stuff. And I just didn't have that spirit. And so for me, it was like I would just talk to people, tell them everything that I knew that they needed to know, introduce them to whoever I knew could help them. And then I didn't get anything from it. And so, I didn't get anything monetarily. It made me feel really good. And then maybe somewhere down the line, I could call them and ask them for some information or resources, and I could get the same thing in return. But in terms of, being able to monetize it, I couldn't make that click or connection. And so this company like freed me of all of that, because it was like, now, I don't charge you for my services, right? So I could just sit down and talk to you and get to know you and find out whatever it is that you're trying to do and connect you to whoever. And then Nationwide or Prudential or Gerber or one of these, companies that we represent, if I was able to, place business with them, would compensate me for the work that I've done.
Oh, that's dope.
And so that made me feel really good about it. And then I had gone into the school system doing family engagement and restorative practice. And, they throw that no family left behind. And I would always say, that sounds really good, but you can't help a child without helping the entire family, right? And so here with the mission being no family left behind, it was like, yes, like this is real. Like we can really do something with this. As opposed to, just kind of throwing that word around loosely.
I think mine was dormant. I think I had the pressure of providing for a family. And then once that struggle kind of stopped, of like I got to work, take care of my family, it opened back up. So looking back, I found some stuff from high school. I was the president of the Future Business Leaders of America, and we actually had young Black entrepreneurs. I came to TSU. So Wesley, this is my gripe. Kumar, I ain't gonna curse her out, but I'll curse her out if I see her. Because
Kumar, I miss Miss Kumar, yeah.
So I told her my goal when I come to TSU, I want to have a design, build, and construction firm. I want a double major in business and engineering, because my plan is once I leave college, I'll go work for the man for 3 years, and then once I got the skills, I go start my own business. No, you cannot do that. No, you cannot do that. And I listened to her for some odd reason, because she was my advisor. But I literally was about to double major in business and engineering. That was my whole goal. I wanted to build me my own city. That's always my goal. I could design and build my own city. So
Akon.
Yeah. So when you're a freshman, if you don't have a good advisor, you kind of listen to them.
We trust these people.
We trust them people. So along the way, going to TSU, it never really left. It has changed from building the city from the engineering standpoint to doing on the social side. So it still was, I love working with Black boys. My dream job after I graduated was to be like the president of 100 Black men, something like that. So I focused in on that. And then because we make some extra money, I tutoring. You really have to build a system around tutoring for it to make sense in dollars. And it just really wasn't the right timing. I thought about doing some consulting business, because listen, the hustle is you get an RFP, you consult about some new thing that just hit the market in education, you get a contract with the city, you making more money than teachers are making money. Easy. I saw people come in and give some crappy ass trainings, and it was making buku cash. It's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And Jamal always had like these great papers and proposals, whatever he was doing for school. I would just be like, Jamal, why aren't you doing this? Like, forget, this and that. Like, you should be doing this. Like, I was always trying to market his programs. So
I just got one thing to add. Mm-hmm. That terrible counseling, that wouldn't have happened at KSU.
Hey, what I would say is that experience taught me how to be a great advisor. Advisor as this, because I could guide my students through that process. So that was part of my story.
Well, you can't shut down their dream. You can't shut down their dream.
I understand you making lemon out of lemonade.
Yeah.
Hey, wouldn't have happened at my school.
It probably happened more than you know. That's why people dropped out a whole lot over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Graduation rates.
Yeah. That's true.
But I mean, so I've done tutoring businesses. Said I had a couple of programs. I thought about nonprofits. My boy checked me. This is kind of really what my wake-up call was. He said, Jamal, you can't try to save the world and be broke. And so I said, okay.
Real talk. Listen. That sounds like a Jason Ruggiero quote.
It was Jason and Corey. Jason and Corey Bill.
Yeah.
Jason and Corey Bill. I said, Jamal, you got all these great ideas, got all these different talents, but you can't say the word being broke.
Right.
Yeah. So at that point, we decided we were gonna come off the front lines, no longer volunteering or doing any of those things. Now the goal is to get the money up so that when people don't have the funding or they need something, that can come to us and we can provide that. Because one thing that we know is that we're connected to amazing people such as yourselves. And, we know people who have amazing programs and ideas and all that other kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, money is the issue, and we cannot look for people who profit and benefit from our problems to solve them. We just can't. And so if we want to solve the problems, we have to have the money to fund what we know is necessary. Because one thing that a girlfriend of mine, she told me about an amazing grant that she presented to the state, and they denied it. And it was like, you know, I told her, I said, girl, at the end of the day, you were solving problems. She was like, yeah, they just wanted me to do a little sidewalk. You know, she was, you know, doing gardens and, you know, teaching people how to, what to do with eggplants, and basically creating gardens that had vegetables and herbs that were helpful to women who were pregnant, in terms of, like, you know, lowering diabetes and, you know, all kind of things like that. And so I was like, you know, they don't want you to solve the problem. They want you to just put a Band-Aid on it, you know? Right. And so that's where what we do is so important, because, you know, we already know how to solve the problems. We just need the money to be able to sustain it.
So you can look at, like, imagine if 10 people, 6 or 7 figure earners, we get together, we say, hey, we're going to attack this issue. We can privately fund that. That's what we got to start talking about, is how we can privately fund stuff. If you look at X, Malcolm X, El Shabazz, King, anybody, the economic piece of it was when it really became dangerous. So if we can control our economics in our community, what you going to tell me? I can buy the block. I can fund my own school. I can fund this after school program. Here's $100,000. So once we have the income, I ain't gonna shut up. I'm like, no, I want to fund that. This is a solid program. You ain't got to worry about applying for this grant where you got to renew it every 3 to 5 years. You might not even get the grant back. You can control your own program. All I need is make sure that you have the seed money, so you can do what you want to do. But boom, you cutting a check. We had our daughter was in a reading program,
Freedom School
program,
with the Children's Defense Fund.
She loved it. Like, she cried.
Oh, they cried.
She cried. I ain't never seen a kid cry because the summer program was over.